G'day, my name's Joel Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat, and today, ahead of his fight at One Fight Night 19, I'm talking to Danial Williams, Mr. Mini T. Daniel, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing it early morning for you in Perth?
Hey Joel, yeah, I'm good, man. I actually completely forgot the different time zone. You're in the east, but yeah, it's about what 8:30, just past 8:30 here, and yeah, it's a beautiful day in Perth. So it's good to be able to talk to you on Southern Cross Combat. Thank you.
Of course, thank you for joining us, and of course, beautiful sun shining, up in camp, getting ready to fight. What more could you want, really?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Like, I love this sport. I love fighting. So being able to fight, still being healthy and able, it's just a blessing. Very grateful to be able to do so.
Talking about that love for fighting, it has been over a year since the last time we saw you compete in MMA rules. How is it to be back in the MMA space?
Yeah, it's great, man. Like end of 2022, had my last MMA fight, didn't go my way, and I was always in my head about it because I just felt like I threw it away, like just the preparation, the mindset going in, and yeah, so it's good to be back in why I stopped my Muay Thai in the first place to compete MMA. It's always been on my mind. I always wanted to do it, so just feels like I'm back on track now, and it's yeah, just working on all the skills is who I am, like rather than limiting skills. So last year did the kickboxing matches, and yeah, it's difficult, when you just only got a few skills to work on when most of your career you worked on a lot more skills. So massive learning curve, and yeah, just really good to be back in the MMA scene. And yeah, I get to train real close to home, so the fight camps have been a lot more easier because the scrap MMA gym's like 3 minutes from my house. So being able to walk there, ride there, and just keep things a lot more simple. Just yeah, being able to do the hard session but not have this long drive to get everywhere and waste all this time. So yeah, really grateful for that as well.
Talking there, you said about last time obviously didn't go your way and you weren't pleased with that performance and your preparation. What's different this time around?
I think just really respecting my opponent. I've got a hard task in front of me, and I'm just doing the hard sessions, the big camp. Like I'm just not leaving any stone unturned, and working all the martial arts, not just the one martial art. It is mixed martial arts, So working on my weaknesses and just feeling confident about this fight because I just feel like there's no stones left unturned. So I'm going to be the best person I can be when I rock up on there. And yeah, that's the main difference. Just focused.
Talking about being able to work on all the aspects, I was very fortunate. I talked to Mr. Rod Costa yesterday. How is it training with Rod? He talked about training with you for your high level striking. How is it training grappling with Rod?
Oh man, he's you're done. You're done once you're on the ground. He's just heavy. He's so strong, even for his size. Like he's just ridiculously strong with his legs. So like it's on the floor, it's just like just survive in there. And it's been really good to be able to have him as a training partner because yeah, it's just a different level on that ground. And you get taken down, and if we have a sparring match, it's like just the energy usage, trying to get up, trying not to get subbed. But yeah, Rod can do what he wants, man. Yeah, once it's on the floor, it's just yeah, dead end, especially for me.
So you originally came to the sport of just martial arts in general through the striking, through Muay Thai. Now that you are doing the grappling, I know you've been doing MMA fights. It's not exactly new territory for you, but still, how did you find the grappling once you made that transition?
Yeah, I found it quite difficult because I was really specific on doing the grappling training, but then transferring it to MMA. There's a lot of bits missing. So the main thing is the wrestling. That's something that I haven't put a lot of effort into at all. And the last couple of months, just jumping in the scrap MMA wrestling class and being blown away by it because like kind of just shake my head and smack it against the wall. I'm like, man, I've had like 8 pro MMA fights and I haven't had any sort of wrestling focus in my training or just doing the classes where it's like my first lesson we're doing this drill and I'm like, holy shit. I remember the last MMA fight I had, I was in this position. I'd done it completely wrong. And like it just ever since that session, it's like, oh, I'm hooked. And almost like a new passion, like loving the wrestling, man. It's just good to go down there, and it's making this fight camp fun, because it's just, I really enjoy going down. It's not like a repetition thing. It's always learning. And that's the beauty of MMA. You're always learning, you're always behind. Like, yeah, it's just so many martial arts you have to worry about. So it's just awesome being able to train everything.
Talking about that, so you are incredibly accomplished striker, world championship level. Uh, when you are then going through and learning like new skills, is that weird where you're like, man, I thought I was like really good at fighting and now there's this whole other world?
Absolutely. Like my first BJJ lesson, I've said this a couple of times in podcasts before, like I had to roll with like a 48-kilo girl, and I just thought, oh, I didn't want to roll with her. I'll go kind of easy, even though it was my first lesson. And she was obviously experienced, and she just dominated me. I was getting tapped left, right, and center. I was just super confused. And then like going with the other people, their body shapes, like real skinny, nerdy glasses, like, oh, they won't be strong. And it's like, damn, they're so technical that I was just like quite intrigued by it. So it's really good to start from the bottom again. It's just why I'm still fighting. I've been doing martial arts since I was 6 years old. So it's kind of just cool to be able to like, yeah, be in the different sports and learn and just be motivated by that. And it's just enjoying like going to training, because to be fair, in my Muay Thai career, I was getting quite monotonous. I felt like, yeah, I wouldn't say bored, but it was just knowing what I had to do to do the fights, and it was just kind of like sharpening skills, and yeah, a little bit different, a little bit monotonous, but yeah, it's just now it's just like, yeah, I feel like I don't. There's so many martial arts still that I'm just such a beginner at, and just get rolled with by the experienced people.
Talking about that kind of monotony in Muay Thai, you've spoken before. That's kind of what drew you away from that into the MMA space. I know you did have obviously that infamous fight in 2019, but there was some time away from the sport, and then in 2023 it's all just kickboxing and Muay Thai fights. How was it to be back in that space after so much time away?
Yeah, so I've only last year was only kickboxing. I'm still pretty like, I did the Rod Tank fight Muay Thai, and after doing that, I'm like, damn, I like just remembered how much I love fighting Muay Thai. Like right now, that's my favorite to fight in, Muay Thai. Obviously, like yeah, it's something I've trained in my whole life in, so I'm a lot more comfortable in that space. But I just love it. Like that's just just two guys just going like toe to toe with each other. That's just favorite. I absolutely love that. So doing that with Rod Tang, I was like, damn, I want to do Muay Thai again, because I want to go on my weight division. And I was looking at the top five. I'm like, yep, I want to fight all of those guys. I've got to, I believe in myself. So I'm still hanging out for that Muay Thai fight. To be fair, in my weight division, I had the kickboxing matches, and that was cool, man. It's cool to sharpen up the skills again, because when I transitioned to MMA, like a lot of the focus was on the grappling, and it was hard because the body was just giving out everywhere. It's just like, a lot of unknown territory. Like, should I be doing this? Should I stick with Muay Thai? There's some big things happening in Muay Thai now with the one championship. Like, should have I? But it's like, nah, I hate giving up in anything that I try. And just with the kickboxing, it was good to sharpen up the skills kind of thing. But definitely, still prefer Muay Thai. But like just using the elbows and the clinch. The clinch is a big one, man. That's you can't do that in one championship. Even though I've had kickboxing fights before, you can, but in one you can't. So it's just a little bit difficult, a little bit different, and that's kind of what I train in MMA and Muay Thai. So that's kind of a take that I got from it from doing kickboxing last year.
I mentioned earlier, I was very fortunate to talk to Rod Costa. Something I spoke about with Rod was his infamous tendency to take fights on short notice. You are a gentleman who took a fight recently on short notice where I can't remember how many days it was, but they called you and they're like, do you want to fight Super Lek? And you were like, yes, I do want to do that. What is your mentality? How do you do something like that?
Man, like, after seeing his last two matches, Super Lek, I probably would have had a different response. Like, that guy's an absolute animal. Nah, never though. Like, it's just an opportunity, and it's like it's you're just fighting the best in the world. So you really see where you're at. And it was crazy though. Like I had everything going against me. Like obviously the different discipline, training for a Muay Thai fight, just well underweight. That was the big thing in the round one. I knew I was in trouble because he landed a few leg kicks. I'm like, that power is different, man. That's different. I haven't experienced that. Like even with Rod Tang, it wasn't that power. But then again, I was the same weight as Rod Tang. I wasn't trying to be underweight and jumped in last minute. So yeah, it was just yeah, and he's like a freak. His power is different for that weight in general, and he's missed weight a few times. So yeah, that was crazy. Like just the heavy kicks that he had. But yeah, the mentality towards it, man. Just like I love fighting, and it's like I even my like I lost to Rod Tang. That's what people know me for. It's my best fight. So yeah, I just think fuck, you only live once, and you get these opportunities to fight on the big stage against the world champs. I'm always going to say yes.
Talking about world championships, you are now back in the MMA discipline. Is the one MMA world championship what you are aiming for?
Of course, man. That's why we do this. You know, like I'm going to take each fight as it comes. Can't promise anything, but that's my direction. That's why I go to training, and that's why every fighter fights. You know, believing and imagining them getting that title, because that just puts all your work that you've done over the years into place. So yeah, of course, man.
Could you see a victory over Lito leading to that next?
Do I see
A victory
victory?
over Lito leading to that
Oh,
next?
man. I still think there's some other guys to the top five. You know, they're all worthy of the title shot. They've been in that bracket for a while, so it would be pretty unfair if I beat Lito then get the title shot straight away. So I reckon, yeah, I would still need another match after Lito. I mean, I'm not going to say no, but I think it'll be better. I think it'll be better for me as well. I think I need just, you know, like I said, with the wrestling's kind of fairly new, and I feel like all the pieces are coming together now. So I wouldn't mind just, you know, fighting the top guys and not jumping to that spot. Did that in kickboxing last year, wasn't too good. So yeah, just want to earn my spot and just keep working towards it.
So you mentioned before about some stories you've told on other podcasts and such, and I was listening to one the other day, and you talked about kind of when you stepped out of Muay Thai. Something you mentioned was about fighting in Lumpinee Stadium, something that because of kind of how the sport was set up, something you didn't necessarily think would be in the cards for you. Now that you are doing that, how does it feel to be able to fight in a stadium like that?
Oh man, yeah, it's great. You know, I my mentality was like with the Muay Thai guys at Lumpinee growing up. Like I'm not on there. It's never gonna happen because they're just, you know, they're born at like 6, 7 years old. They're already fighting. They're just steps ahead, and it's just yeah, they're just levels ahead. But yeah, to get to a position now where actually I'm fighting there. I'm not Muay Thai, which I still really want Muay Thai at Lumpinee. I think that will be absolutely awesome. That would be a dream come true. But yeah, it's just a blessing. Like even get my first title, you know, it's just like shit. I didn't think I would get there, and then you just start changing your belief. You're like, fuck, I can do this. So yeah, really cool, man. Because yeah, I had those doubts as a fighter coming up. Like, you know, I'm levels behind these guys who've been doing it since they were 6 years old fighting, but it's not the case. Got to train smart and train hard, and yeah, believe in yourself.
Now that development of the sport, along with that, one is now on Channel 7, which I think is fantastic for the sport. But as someone who started in 2013, how have you seen that kind of development of the sport, and what are your thoughts on it being on like free to air television in Australia?
Yeah, hectic, man. Like, geez, like you just wouldn't expect it, right? Like, as yeah, growing up in the sport, there was a couple of shows on Foxtel, which was cool, and I got to fight on one of the Foxtel shows, and I was blown away by that. But yeah, pretty surreal still. Like, just to yeah, when you think about it, like, man, this is on free to air TV, and this is like, yeah, all the martial arts and yeah, it's pretty surreal, man. It's kind of like shit. This is like it's still going in the right direction, and it's only better things to come, I believe.
Uh, you were fighting Lito Adewang in as I said, your return to MMA after a year away. What are your thoughts on Lito as an opponent?
Yeah, he's tough as he's a knockout artist, so he's pure fire. And I believe I fight the best against guys like that. They bring the fire, meet fire with fire. It's gonna give for an entertaining fight. So yeah, super excited. I respect him. He like I was a fan of his before I came to one. So that's hectic. Like, oh man, this guy's crazy. This is awesome. So yeah, it's a very honor to fight him and share the cage with him because I know he's gonna bring the fight and it's gonna be a highlight reel. So yeah, big respect to Lito. But yeah, he's in my way and like I said, I'm gonna meet fire with fire.
I know you said you want to, your first love is Muay Thai, but I'm sure this, when you get given someone who loves to strike, I'm sure part of you's like, oh, very nice. I like this.
Yeah, yeah, man, I love fighting. So yeah, it will be good. But hey, I'm prepared everywhere because it is MMA, and the good thing MMA, like, it's just like you do have to be smart. You can't just go out there and expect to brawl and stop. Like I'm at a different level now. It's different guys that I'm fighting. These guys are putting their life into it, and yeah, it's like that Miata fight I had. He put into perspective for me. Just having a chat with him, man. Like I'm making jokes for the fight. Like fuck yeah, I'll fight. I can get my new patio at my house, and I had the chat with him after. He's like, bro, I'm wanting to fight so bad. I moved to Thailand. My wife and kids like struggling basically. So I really got to make this work. I'm like, shit, man. You put it all into perspective. You're like feeding a family for this, and I'm like joking, like fuck yeah, I'll get a new patio at my house. Like it just puts things into perspective and the type of caliber I'm up against in this top five or the top guys in one championship.
Daniel, I thank you so much for your time. I have one final question for you before I let you go. Thank you for talking to me today.
No dramas, Joel. Thank you.
It's the last possible day I can ask this question. It is the end of January 2024. If I were to interview you in January 2025, what do you hope happens for you in 2024?
So what would I hope happens to me this year?
Yes.
Yeah. So get the win on Lido, then I want to fight Miata and get that win back. And then I want to have a Muay Thai scrap as well. The 3 fights, that will be awesome. And yeah, that's the main things I want to happen in 2024. I think that's achievable. That's believable. It's not jumping the gun too far. Like I'm mad for that in previous. Like, I want to be a 3-sport world champion right now. And then you sort of find out like, shit, man, you need to put in more work and respect your opponents that you're up against. Don't let the ego get the better of you. So I think that's realistic. 2024, Lido, get that win back from Miato, and then have a Muay Thai scrap as well.
Daniel, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate you talking to me today. Safe travels to you and the team, and best of luck in the fight.
Cheers, Joel. Thanks for having me, man. Good chatting with you.